Hi, I'm Dr. Chief with our MedMinute Question of the week. And this one is pretty appropriate for the weather that we are experiencing. Besides drinking water, what else can we do to help prevent heat exhaustion? Well, really, the main thing is to try and avoid being out in that heat for a prolonged period of time. But that being said, sometimes we're outside just working in the yard, maybe playing some sports, and it catches up with us and gets overwhelming. And really, with heat exhaustion is your body has really overheated. It's become somewhat dehydrated. Some electrolytes have become abnormal, so people feel very poorly, and they're on the verge of passing out. Their blood pressure goes down, their pulse goes up, skin gets very clammy and cold, and you sometimes even get very dizzy. So it really is a result of external heat making your body very hot, but also dehydration. So the water is staying hydrated is a big thing. The problem is you do have to have more than just plain water. And if you're planning on being outside and doing something, I'm going to go play golf and this heat, really start hydrating before you go. Even though you really can't stockpile, or at least if they're maximally saturated, that's good. But really, then you want to start alternating with some type of electrolyte solution, whether it's any of those little packets that you can add to the water. There's Pedialyte. I would not go with Gatorade and things like that. They have too much sugar in them, but more of an electrolyte-based additive to your water, because that's really what ends up happening, because that becomes the second component to this problem. Is people who drink a lot of water and they're sweating out salt. Now they're diluting out their electrolytes, and then they start feeling even more poorly. So you can even make a poor man's electrolyte solution by putting water, putting a little bit of honey, put some table salt into this, not a lot, mixing up your own type of chronic there just to add a little to get some salt into your system, or you can even eat some chips or something while you're doing stuff to really get a good amount of salt into your system. Even though it seems counterproductive, why am I going to eat salt if it's so hot? You do need those electrolytes, and you need all of them. You just don't need like one or the other. And that's the problem with some of these electrolyte solutions. They may only have one, and you want a little bit of them. You definitely want potassium, you want sodium, you want manganese, magnesium, and things like that, and they're to help replenish that. So it's really the best way, instead of treating it, is to prevent it. And sometimes it's just overwhelming. You're out there doing something, before you know it, you just want right over the edge and overeat. So what you want to do is get out of the heat as much as you can. Cool your body down. If you're outside and you have a hose, put the hose on. You're just really trying to cool. Try it if you have the ability to go into air conditioning. Do that. I'm really then trying to rest and stay hydrated, because people get really weak, and that's when they get into more of a problem. They just say, "Oh, I'll just drink some more and I'll keep going." And that's where people have a problem. One thing to avoid is, at that point, is energy drinks, because those just make this situation worse. We've had some people come into pounding some energy drinks thinking that they had lots of electrolytes in them, and now you've compounded the problem because you've had massive amounts of caffeine in your system, so now your pulse is running through. So really the best part is to try and prevent it. Really lose your head about this weather now, because it's crazy, particularly coming up on this weekend, but people are going to be outside, a lot of people on the boats in this blistering heat. You just sort of, when you're out in the water, you lose your sense of how hot it really is and how dehydrated you're getting, because you got that coldness of the water, but yet you're just still cooking away out there. So really try to stay as hydrated as you can. And some people recommend drinking like a bottle, or be drinking something every 20 minutes. That's a lot of water. So you still have to do that. So that's my answer for the heat exhaustion. Good luck and happy 4th of July, everybody.